About 7,000 years ago, the first people settled in the valley of River Emån. At that time, the river was the natural transport route in the area and a rich source of life. Early on, the rapids and falls of Emån were used for mills, sawmills, and industries. Ever since then, Emån has been the foundation that has largely shaped the societies we see today. The name Emån probably comes from the old Swedish word ember, meaning mist. It is understandable how people found inspiration for the name, as the landscape around Emån is often surrounded by an atmospheric fog. The river is known for its richness in species. You can find freshwater pearl mussels, rare plants, and a rich bird life. Some 30 species of fish swim in the River Emån, and for sport fishermen, the river is world famous for its large-grown sea trout. The mysterious sheatfish has one of its most northern strongholds in Emån. The main river and several tributaries are of national interest for nature conservation, cultural environment conservation, and outdoor recreation. Long stretches constitute Natura 2000 areas. The source of the river is at 300 meters above sea level on the highlands of the region's Småland. 220 kilometers later, the river ends in a rapid into the Baltic Sea. On its journey, the river flows through 8 municipalities and 2 counties. But the river knows no boundaries. Instead, the water follows the landscape on its meandering journey towards the sea. Water is uncompromising. It reflects and reveals much of the activity that goes on within the catchment area. Emån is used for producing drinking water, as a recipient for sewage and stormwater, in processes of different industries, irrigation for agriculture and sports fields, as an energy source, for fishing, bathing, and recreation. When the water finally reaches the sea, it has been used by many and for many purposes. The Emån Union is an association and water council within Emån's catchment area, from the source in the highlands to the mouth in the Baltic Sea. We are a cooperative organization for municipalities and county administrations, as well as individual landowners, NGOs, and companies. We believe this collaboration is the key to a sustainable use of the resource. Water quality is one of our core issues, and the monitoring of the river's water quality via the so-called Coordinated Recipient Control Program is one of the most important reasons why the Emån Union was once formed. Within the Coordinated Recipient Control Program, we take samples of everything from water and sediment to algae and fish. We monitor fish communities in streams and rivers and measure the oxygen content in lakes. Today, the water quality in Emån is good in most places, but there were periods during the 50s and 60s when people were less careful about what they released into the water. This has resulted in major decontamination needs, which until today have cost hundreds of millions of Swedish crowns to complete. In several of these projects, the Emån Union has been involved through environmental monitoring, thanks to different measures to prevent contamination and acidification, and that we now know more about the risks of various emissions. Several animal species, including otters, have recovered, and today, Emån has a unique wealth of different animal species and other organisms. But even if toxins and heavy metals are under control, the work is far from done. Through centuries of social development, Emån has been physically affected in different ways. Dams have been built, streams have been straightened and dug out for various reasons. At the beginning of the 20th century, salmon and sea trout could migrate from the sea all the way to the highlands. Today, there are several obstacles on the way. The Emån Union takes a responsibility in restoration projects, including measures at dams and hydroelectric plants, enabling for fish to move freely in the watercourses. The projects can be large-scale and costly, but sometimes small means go a long way. Ditching and extensive drainage of lakes and wetlands have, among other things, deteriorated the natural water retention capacity in the catchment area. In a future climate, the major threat to the River Emån is drought and low flows. Therefore, we have a lot of work ahead of us in trying to restore water-retaining functions in the landscape, but it will take time, and we can never restore everything. The Emån Union has a coordinating role for water management, including managing the regulation of several lakes. There are obvious problems associated with regulated lakes, but using them from a water management perspective is extremely important and can, to some extent, compensate for the loss of wetlands. To monitor and manage the water, we have built a system of level and flow measurement stations accessible to everyone on our website. Water has an eternal cycle. It is everyone's and no one's. We have a responsibility towards future generations to cooperate and meet the challenges of the future, with the ambition of sustainability, not exploitation.